Lastly, we have heard some insights now. When you peel back the curtain a little bit about the San Antonio Spurs, here is what Stephen Jackson had to say on Colin Cowherd's show about the Spurs and the way that they have handled the Kawhi Leonard injury.
If you know anything about the Spurs, you know Pop has his three guys: Tony Parker, Ginobili, Tim Duncan. Anything that comes out in the media,
right,
it comes from Pop through Tony and Ginobili. Y'all might not believe this, but the meeting that was Sose threw up on Kawhi after the game, that came down from Pop. Tony don't have the balls to do that. Ginobili don't have the balls to do that, okay? They just not outspoken guys, and I don't think nobody feared them to respect their word. For Tony to come out and make their statement about his hamstring or quad was worse than 100 times worse than Kawhi's is so low, and the timing of it is even worse. Like I played on this organization. They came at me sideways before when Pop asked me to say other people was better than me, so I know. And I know how selfish Tony is because he's the reason why we lost in 14 against OKC, because he didn't want to pass the ball game 6 after I had hit 6 threes in a row. So I know the type of person Tony is. He can't be selfish, and by this comment, I wouldn't be surprised if this makes Kawhi want to leave. When your teammates going against you in the media like that and not having your back, you know that's coming from up top. Why would you want to be there?
You think Kawhi knows it's coming from up top.
Man, look, Kawhi might not say nothing, but he's smarter than a lot of people think. And by the fact that came from Tony like that, that's super low. I lost a lot of respect for Tony because they always say, well, this is the class act, this is the class organization. That was low coming from one of your teammates.
Stephen Jackson has always been one of the most honest and forthright personalities that we have in the media. I know because I worked with him directly in Chicago when he was a contributor for a past position that I had. The conversations we would have in the green room would then be the same exact Stephen Jackson that we would see on air as well. So what we are seeing here is just a quick timeline. Kawhi Leonard suffers the injury. Tony Parker comes out via this tweet on his return from a career-threatening quad injury, he suffered last May. I've been through it. It was a rehab for me for 8 months. Same kind of injury as Kawhi, but mine was 100 times worse. But the same kind of injury. You just stay positive. Stephen Jackson is telling you right now, we know who runs the ship. Greg Popovich goes in the Spurs office. R.C. Buford doesn't matter. This is the same guy. I love Greg Popovich, by the way. This is not me crapping on him. It's just the way that he decides to run his organization because he did it previously as a GM. Then he was like, yeah, I can coach better than this guy. As the GM, fires the previous head coach, anoints himself head coach. And by the way, they've had 50-plus wins for 20-plus seasons. For 20 seasons, rather. 1997 is when it began. So he knows what he's doing. I think it's very safe to say. However, what we are now learning is that everything goes through Pop. You want anything done, you go through Pop. Tony Parker will always be Greg Popovich's guy. That's why he's going to retire as a San Antonio Spur. Manu Ginobili, he hasn't gone anywhere else. Why? Because he's in Greg Popovich's circle. All that it is, you remember Meet the Parents, how they had the circle of trust and then Greg was on the outside? That's everyone else except for in the circle of trust, is Tim Duncan, who's retired, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker. That is it. So Stephen Jackson telling us that like anything that happens, whether it's Tony Parker talking about something or Manu talking about something, and Manu went on the record as well going after Kawhi, it comes from Greg Popovich. Because what he's trying to do is strong-arm Kawhi Leonard to return because he knows right now, LaMarcus Aldridge, gone for some time. Kawhi Leonard has been out. They think he's healthy. He's getting a second opinion. Now, what they think is, they're interpreting it as, well, Kawhi Leonard is saying, screw us. He's going and getting a second opinion outside of us. It's okay to do that. It's actually normal. But now, this is a tactic that Popovich is using. With Stephen Jackson coming out and saying this, it's falling flat on his face.